Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Writer's Canvas, where we break down tips and tricks to help make your writing immersive and engaging. Today, we're talking about the Mastermind villain, that carefully calculating, long game-playing character who turns every story into a game of strategy and nerves. These villains don't win by force, they win by thinking further, seeing deeper, and preparing for chaos before anyone else realizes it's even coming. So, if you're ready to dig into what makes this archetype work, how to avoid the biggest traps, and how to make your own mastermind not only believable, but unforgettable, let's get going. Mastermind villains are some of the most fascinating characters in fiction, but writing them well takes more than just slapping on a high IQ and calling it a day. The real magic of a mastermind isn't just that they're smart, it's how they use that intelligence. They're always 10 steps ahead, constantly adjusting the board behind the scenes, waiting for the exact right moment to strike. Their plans often feel inevitable, like they've already won and we're just now catching up. But here's the thing, if their entire scheme depends on luck, overly precise timing, or other characters behaving in unbelievably predictable ways, their genius falls apart fast. Readers can tell when a plan feels forced. A true mastermind doesn't count on perfection. They thrive in the unpredictable. They expect things to go wrong and are most impressive when they work around it. That's where the fun really begins. When everything starts to unravel and they calmly shift gears like they already planned for this exact moment. That's not luck, that's craft. One of the biggest traps writers fall into is making their mastermind's plans so complicated that even the audience can't follow along. Sure, they're supposed to be smart, but if your villain's plan needs a whiteboard, 5 color-coded charts, and a narrator to explain every move, it's probably not as clever as it thinks it is. Complexity isn't the goal, clarity is. Their plan should feel layered but logical, intricate but understandable. The audience doesn't need to predict every step, but they should be able to look back and say, oh, that's why they did that. A good mastermind doesn't need to predict every move their enemy makes, but they should have room to maneuver. They should expect human error. They should build in contingencies and have a backup plan to the backup plan. What makes them feel truly brilliant isn't their ability to control every outcome. It's how smoothly they pivot when the unexpected shows up. That ability is where their intelligence really shines. Then there's the classic "it was me all along" twist, which can be tempting but often backfires. When used well, this kind of reveal can be satisfying, but if it comes out of nowhere, it feels cheap. It's the narrative equivalent of pulling a rabbit out of the hat with no setup. A well-written mastermind doesn't need a dramatic curtain pull to prove how clever they are. Their fingerprints are already all over the story. You don't need to yank off a mask for the audience to be impressed. You need to lay just enough clues that when the reveal does come, it feels both shocking and inevitable. You want your readers to think, of course, how did I not see that? Surprises in a mastermind story should come from how they twist the plot in unexpected yet logical ways, not from a sudden out-of-nowhere gotcha moment. That kind of twist doesn't land because it doesn't respect the audience's investment. If we're going to believe someone has been orchestrating everything behind the scenes, we need to feel that orchestration long before we're told about it. Another common issue is the one-dimensional genius, the villain who spends more time telling people how brilliant they are than actually demonstrating it. This kind of character gets old fast. Intelligence isn't something you declare, it's something you show. Let your mastermind do smart things. Let them outthink the protagonist. Let them set up a trap that works or launch a plan that unfolds in a way that has the audience saying, wow, that's actually really clever. Let them improvise when things go wrong, and let their adaptability be just as impressive as their strategy. A villain who can't adjust isn't a threat, they're a theory. What keeps the reader engaged is watching the mastermind respond to the unexpected, not just gloat about being smart in theory. Don't let them rely on long speeches to prove their worth. Let their actions speak. That's how you make their intelligence feel earned. Speaking of speeches, let's talk about the Mastermind's favorite pastime, the monologue. Now, I get it. There's something fun about letting a villain deliver a dramatic speech, but if your villain is constantly pausing the action to explain their plan, you're probably losing momentum. Exposition should feel earned, and it should feel like a reward, not a roadblock. If you're going to have your villain talk through their motives or outline their strategy, do it in a way that still adds tension. Make it part of the manipulation. Make it a lie wrapped in just enough truth to get the protagonist and the reader guessing. A good mastermind doesn't need to spell everything out. Their actions should already be telling us everything we need to know. The more committed they are to their vision, the more we should feel it in how they move, how they plan, and how they affect everyone around them, not through a 10-minute lecture. Let the heroes and the readers figure it out just in time or too late. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The best mastermind villains are more than just their intelligence. They're people, not puzzles. They need flaws, they need quirks, they need motivations that stretch beyond "I like to win." Give them something human. Maybe their overconfidence causes them to misjudge the hero. Maybe they believe so fully in their superiority that they dismiss someone they really shouldn't have. Maybe their goals started out noble and curdled into something darker over time. These aren't weaknesses, they're opportunities. A compelling mastermind doesn't fall because they're dumb. They fall because they've missed something vital, missed something human. Their brilliance should have limits, and those limits should shape both their rise and their fall. The most satisfying villain defeats aren't about the hero pulling off a miracle. They're about the villain making just one mistake, one that only they could have made because of who they are. The mastermind archetype is really about control, adaptability, and commitment to a vision. That's what makes them so exciting to write and so challenging. A great mastermind doesn't just outthink the hero, they challenge the audience to keep up with them. That tension, that pull between what we know and what they know, that's the heartbeat of their story. And when you avoid the cliches, when you ground their plans in logic, when you let their actions speak louder than their words, that's when the archetype comes alive. That's when your mastermind goes from being just another villain to being the villain. One who sticks in your readers' minds long after the story ends. This kind of character shines brightest in stories where strategy and intellect take center stage. Mysteries and thrillers are a natural fit, as are political dramas where alliances shift like sand. But they also work beautifully in epic fantasies and sci-fis where the stakes are complex, layered, and personal. And don't sleep on character-driven stories, especially ones where manipulation, psychological tension, or a battle of the wills takes the spotlight. Masterminds thrive in any setting where choices ripple and consequences matter. So, how do you stick the landing? Plan their defeat early. Don't just tack it on at the end. Make it mean something. Let it reflect the themes of your story and show how your protagonist has grown. Maybe the hero learns to think like the villain and uses it to beat them. Maybe they stopped playing the villain's game entirely and that refusal undoes everything. Whatever it is, it should feel earned, not easy. And don't forget to foreshadow their schemes and their downfall. Sprinkle in hints, a strange decision here, a symbol there, a line of dialogue that only clicks later. Let the audience feel clever. Let them piece it together right before or right as it happens. That's the moment that leaves an impact. Also, make sure the hero is an actual match. If your protagonist can't keep up, there's no tension. Let them clash, let them trade wins and losses, let them challenge each other. And above all, don't let your mastermind be perfect. Give them real setbacks, let them struggle, maybe they even get betrayed. Maybe their plan nearly fails. Maybe something small they dismissed early on comes back to bite them. Even a brief stumble, can make them feel more real. That's what keeps them compelling. We're not here to watch a machine. We're here to watch a person navigate the storm they helped create. That's a wrap on this episode of The Writer's Canvas. If you had fun or learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your fellow wordsmiths, and hit subscribe to keep the inspiration rolling. Got a topic you're dying to see covered? Drop it in the comments below. I'm always up for a good writing challenge. If you want to keep the conversation going and hang out with me and some other amazing writers, come join the community Discord. The link is in the description below. We'd love to have you. Until next time, keep writing, keep revising, and keep making those good parts great. Happy writing!